most people, most of the time, create goals based on their experience. So maybe you made a certain amount last year and now you think, okay, well, maybe I could double that. That's a big goal. Or, maybe I didn't reach my goal. So this year is my year. I'm going to reach the same goal. Which all sounds really fine. Although one thing happens when we create our goals based on the past and based on the results that we've gotten. And that is that we are dragging all that old history and all those old experiences and our beliefs about who we are and what we can and can't accomplish and how things worked out for us or didn't work out for us from the last year or whenever. Maybe it's been 2 years or maybe even 5 years and you've been working on a similar goal, the same goal maybe. And we drag that along and that skews our visioning. So today I'm going to ask you to let go of all of that and to think about your goals from a place of infinite possibility. If you could reach any goal and you had all the resources at your fingertips in order to do that, what would you be doing? I can tell you that, a few years ago in my business, I was still playing from the perspective of, here's what I did last year. This year I want to double it. And I was hanging around pretty much the same people. Some of them were reaching their goals, some of them weren't. And honestly, whether you reach your goal or not, really, that's irrelevant. The reason we want to set big ass goals is because of who you'll become in the process. Now, if you look at the top performers in the world, that's what they do. Many of the goals they set aren't reached, but they get up and they go after them full of excitement, anticipation, really curious about, what's the possibility for me? What if the goal, my glasses are bothering you guys, sorry, I'll just take them off, although I won't be able to read, so I'll probably better put them back on. What would be possible for me if I just went after my goals and let go, detached from the results, but still went after the big goal in order to discover my own potential? And that's what top performers do. That's why you see people crack through records, athletes who break records. And, when a few years ago, I was still kind of like, I was in this group of people that were all kind of doing the same thing. And I was playing at that level and dreaming of another level. I was dreaming of creating $100,000 months. But I wasn't really doing anything about it. I was working hard. I was doing a lot of programs. I had my mastermind going. I had things happening. I was, making offers and I was doing really well. And I was trying to reach that goal from the same perspective, the same vantage point as a person who had broken 6 figures and then multi-6 figures. And I was frustrated. I was a little bit embarrassed because I wanted this for myself and it just wasn't happening. And when that happens, then your confidence kind of, gets involved, and then your belief system and self-doubt creeps in. And then maybe I'm just confused. Maybe I just don't know what to do. And it's so funny because I see this with people all the time. We all do this. We let the doubts and the uncertainty, it's like they're festering in the background. And so we got to deal with those. We got to get rid of those. And the way we do that is by clearing the slate, Let it all go. Your goals this year have absolutely nothing to do with what you did last year. Why do I have an echo? Hold on a minute. There we go. We need to mute someone. All right. They have nothing to do with it. Your goals, who you'll become this year, is dependent upon the possibility that you choose to associate yourself with. Think about that for a minute. Because you all have the desire, you have the skill set, you have the knowledge, you know that. But none of that really matters. The key here is your environment, who you associate yourself with, having reflections, so mirrors, people who are mirroring back to you, the accomplishments that you want to create, having accountability, setting your goals and putting them in a notebook and not really wanting anybody to know because they're so big and these people would maybe feel a little, they would have opinions. People would have opinions about the goal that I'm setting because they're not setting those goals. Well, here's the deal, guys. You got to get around people who are reaching those goals, who are unafraid to go after the impossible. And when you get in a room with those people, you change. And so that's what I did. I wasn't really fully investing in my own decision at that time. So I was dreaming, but I wasn't deciding. I was writing it down and I was playing with it, but I wasn't going full in. I wasn't really deciding this is a non-negotiable. It's done. I'm doing it next. And, that wastes time. I wasted a lot of time. I thought I'm such a resourceful, tenacious person. I've always been. So I have this belief that I can just do whatever I want by myself. I'll just do it myself. I spent a lot of time trying to reverse engineer what other people are doing, trying to figure it out, and wasting time really just preventing myself from reaching what I really wanted. Because I think there was a part of me that knew that I just needed to really show up, that I needed to ask for help, that I needed to be vulnerable, that I needed to really say, I am doing this, and stop with the struggle, and it has to be hard, and, those guys are doing it, what's wrong with me? All that noise in our mind, it's all just made up stories. So let that stuff go. And as I'm talking, if you have questions, please feel free to type them in. I'll address them. We're going to stay on for about a half hour or so. And then I'm going to pop over with my private group, my clients, into our Zoom and answer questions. And we're going to do some visioning and goal setting over there. For those of you on Facebook, ask me anything. I'm happy to answer. Please do say hi. Let me know you're here. And if I don't know where you're from, let me know. Let all of us know where you're joining us from. All right. So today we're going to 10x your goals. We are going to look at your goals, set your goals from a place of vision, of possibility, rather than from the past, so that you can really avoid. I've got notes here, guys. I'm going to put them up so you're not looking at the top of my head. So that you can really have the plan right now this week to get busy and go after whatever it is in a whole new way, and start to change the potential for the year right now, because the potential is limitless. All right. So first of all, here's the first question. What's your goal? I have ink on my arm. What's your goal for 2018? Just write that down. You can put it in the comments or just write it on a piece of paper. If you want to put it in the chat, if you're on Zoom with me, go ahead. Wherever you want, just write this down. Just what's your goal? It can be, I like to look at health, happiness, and wealth. All right. Now, you guys have probably been thinking about this already, so you probably have that. That's an easy one, right? Next up is, why is that goal important to you? Why is it important? Just write that down. If you want to share it with us, you certainly can. Nuala says, things really changed for me when I decided to join your program and allow myself to receive the help I need the most, right? Yes, allowing ourselves to receive help. That's a big one for entrepreneurs because we're pretty innovative. We're pretty, self-starters for the most part. That can be a big one. Thank you, Nuala. I love having you in the program. So why is it important? Next of all, how badly do you really want it? Let's double check on that why it's important. I want you to go deeper. How bad do you really want it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like 10 would be, this is a done deal. Like it's absolutely happening. And 1 would be, well, because, it'd be nice. And then everything in between. Just give that a number. How important is it really to you? And then next, when? When will it happen? Give it a month and a day and a year. We're talking about 2018 right now. So assign it a month and a day. Focus is one of the keys to reaching your goals. And also to knowing when you're done, like rather than, I'm going to make 6 figures, I'm going to make 7 figures, and you're just going after it. It's like, set a deadline. And then we'll assess once you hit the deadline whether you did it or not. But we need a deadline. All right. And then what projects will you focus on? And I only want you to choose 1 or 2 projects that you'll focus on in order to reach this goal. So if you're looking at a revenue goal, let's say it's 100,000, that's a nice round number. What projects will you focus on? There's just a couple of things. There's 3 things to focus on, and that is leads, conversion, and delivery. That's all there is to it, right? So your focus will be on promotion, to let people know about it, and sales. So what are the projects that you will focus on in order to reach it? You can have a 3rd one if it's delivery. Obviously, you want to deliver really great content once people sign up. So jot those down, and then we're going to look at who will you surround yourself in order to reach your goals. Now, remember what I said. You want to be around people who are reaching or who have reached similar goals to what you are going after. When we're around people who are struggling, we create more struggle because we're mirrors for each other. So who will you surround yourself? There's a few categories I want to mention. Teachers. We all need teachers, mentors, coaches. Who will those people be for you? Action takers. So these are your team members, the people you can delegate to, the people who will support you. Will you have someone clean your house? Will you have someone do your yard? Will you have someone with your help with social media? Who's going to take action on the plan that you implement? And we all need fans, whether they're friends or peers, but they're the cheerleaders, the people that, they're just like, yeah, I know you're feeling down today, but you've got this. You've got this. Keep going. We need to be around those people. And all of us have a different area that we're, gifted at. Some people are great at, taking action and getting things done, being in a supportive role. Some people are amazing teachers. Some people are great cheerleaders and fans. And then the 4th one is truth tellers. Truth tellers are the ones that when you, when you slip backwards, they call you out. And they're like, no, this is not happening right now. They're the ass kickers of the world. Like, come on, show up over here. And so who are those people for you? I'll tell you a little story about my own experience. I was telling you one earlier. And back in this time, a few years back, where I was just kind of stagnated and hanging with the same people, kind of doing the same thing, launching programs, doing my mastermind. And then I decided, you know what, enough with this. If I really want to make $100K a month, that was my goal at the time, I need to be around, I need help. It's not happening. And so I started looking at, where are those people gathering? Who's a good coach for me? I always have a coach. I hope all of you always have a coach. We need that. Top performers have multiple coaches. And so I found a coach and I chatted with him. He scared the living daylights out of me. And I knew it was right. He wouldn't give up on me when I'd go backwards just in this conversation. We had a conversation for about 2 hours on the phone. And so I said yes. And I joined that program. And it was $50,000. And I think at the time, all I had to invest was maybe $5,000. And we worked out a deal. It's like, I see, that's the thing. That wasn't the payment he asked me for, but I had decided that this is going to happen. This is what happens when you're a 10 on how badly do you want it. I wanted it. So I wasn't afraid to say, I don't have the full first payment, but I could do this. And guess what he said? Great, let's go. Let's get the second payment in 2 weeks. We're going to schedule time tomorrow. We're going to hop on the phone. We're going to make a plan. You're going to go. But had I stayed in my smaller self, I would have been like, well, maybe another time would be better because I don't know where the money's going to come from. No. And what happened in that 30 days, still to this day, kind of, it's a great reminder for me. It was a transformation. The first thing is I flew to the Mastermind Meeting and I was immersed in an environment of, I think there were about 15 of us, and of people who were, high level authors. They were all making millions. And we sat around a table and we talked, and I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, I'm not these people. And then something interesting started to happen. We went out and we had fun together and we laughed together and we got to know each other and we played crazy games and we did all this stuff. And I was just like them. And they were just like me. And I began to open up and ask for help and share my struggles and share my vision. And guess what happened? They had all been there. They understood and they were offering support to me. That's what happens when you're in a room of people who you desire to become more like, or to reach a goal that, that they've already reached. And that I had set this big goal. I told you guys, like, okay, I'm going to make $100,000. So it made total sense to me to invest $50,000, right? If I can invest $50,000 in a year-long program and make 130 days, that's a no-brainer. I didn't make 100 in 30 days. I made 90. I made $90,000 in 30 days. I think the most I'd ever made was about 22. How did that happen? When my coach and my mastermind were doing things that were just a little bit of a stretch beyond what I would do, like, oh, you want me to email them again? Oh, you want me to book another talk? Oh, you want me to, you want me to call that person? You want me to do this? You want me to, all these things that I was like, I'm not quite ready. But I did it anyway. And guess what happened? I was ready. You need somebody around you, people around you, multiple people around you, to remind you of who you are, to remind you of your potential, to hold your dream with you, to believe in you when you forget to. So, who will you surround yourself with in 2018? All right, next. what vision will you associate this goal with? Now, I mentioned this at the beginning. We can associate our goals with things that have happened in the past, which doesn't work out so well. We can associate our goals with a vision we have for the future and detach all of the strings or memories or beliefs or patterns from the past. Just detach all that stuff. Leave that in 2017. It's already gone. So, what vision will you associate your goal with? All right, so now I want to do a little process. First, let me check with you. Then we're going to do a little process. Let me see. We've got some comments coming in. I want to make sure I am answering questions. Okay, so Nuala says she's going to make herself visible using YouTube and getting known. Yes. Promotion and to create high quality content programs. Awesome. She also says help with social media and stay in this program. I love to start a group with people like myself. I have a friend who would quickly kick my ass, and she's my biggest fan. Yeah, those are the ones sometimes you don't want to have them around, but that's probably the time when you most need them around. Let's see over here. You scared me when I talked to you. That's why I joined your group. I know that feeling. I was scared too. I decided to invest and allow the money to show up. That's how it works. All righty. So I want to take you through this little process together. Okay, you guys ready? We've set our goal. We've associated it with your vision. You've thought of your support team. You've done a little assessment. How important is this really to me? Now I want you to think about that goal, and you've set a date, a deadline. So good news. You guys all reached your goal. You reached it. And you're having a little party to celebrate. It's important to celebrate when you reach your goals. It's important to celebrate both ways, really, but that's a topic for another time. So I want you to picture this celebration. You're having a little party at your house. You're celebrating not only reaching the goal, but that deeper why. Remember, I asked you guys to write down your why. A couple of you just type in, what's your why? This is really important. We need to know our deeper why. It's not to buy that new house. It's not to get the new car. It's not to put our kids through college. It's deeper. Why? Why is it important to you to have that house? Why is it important to you that your child goes to college? Look deeper. There's a goal that is attached. There's a reason that is attached to your values. So write that down. What is it really about? Is it about freedom? Is it about connection? Is it about service and contribution? Is it about adventure? Is it about achievement? Now, at this celebration, that's what you're celebrating. What is it? Okay, now, I want you to double your goal. Double your revenue goal. Got it? Okay, now I want you to triple it. Whatever you said, triple it. Let's do a revenue goal for you, Nuala. She said she didn't put one down. Revenue goals are important to help us track. All right, now that you've tripled it, I want you to 10x it. So whatever the first goal was, just add a 0 to the end. All right. Now, let's go back to that celebration of yours. You're having this party. You have surpassed your goal 10 times over. Your friends are around. You guys are celebrating. You're so excited, like, what just happened? This is the best year yet. And there's a knock at the door. And it's the local news. And they're requesting an interview. They heard about the amazing work you've done based on your value. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you set a $100,000 goal. You reached $1 million and your big why was freedom for yourself and for other people. Well, the news wants to talk to you about, this freedom mission that you're on, and they're requesting an interview. And you say, sure, and they come. And you give them a quick interview, but then you notice outside there's this commotion, and there's more guests arriving at your party, and then the whole street is full of people. And then this big truck pulls up and pops up its satellite. It's the national news, and they want to interview. They're like, what the heck? Like, look what this person is doing for this cause. You share your story with them, but you're interrupted by the phone because it's ringing nonstop. Because people are requesting interviews. Oprah's team is on the phone asking if you can come to the studio and do a show on the cause that you stand for and the difference that you've made this year. So you say, okay, I'll go. And after the show, things get really interesting. Like, your face is everywhere. You're really popular. What happened? You receive a request from the White House. They want you to serve as a UN Goodwill Ambassador for this big why of yours. They want to raise awareness globally on how this one person made this big impact for this cause that you stand for. Now come back to today. Take a look at your goal. The world is full of possibility. Your results are determined by the possibility you allow yourself to associate with. Now write down your biggest possibility for 2018. And let's reverse engineer that path. Because here's what I want for you. I want you to live your life at your greatest potential, serve at your highest level, fulfill all of your dreams, share your values, your core value, the driving factor for everything you do is the value you are here to provide the world. And I want the world to experience you. So let's talk about what you need. And then we'll get to work. Even more. You guys have been working. I know. You need references. You need reflections. So what I mean by references is, once you've done something once, it becomes real. When you're thinking about doing something, it feels foggy, right? So we need references. So we need to track and measure and celebrate. We need to design an environment that reflects back to us the person we're becoming. So look around your physical environment. Does it look like a person who is creating at the level that we just went to with your big vision? We need belief, new beliefs for many of us. So letting go of the old ones. We can do that by writing it out, telling yourself what will happen this year. We need support. We need groups. We need masterminds. We need coaches. We need peers. We need mentors. Make sure you have that on your list. We need accountability. Find an accountability partner. Commit to what you'll do to your partner. And be accountable to showing up for them. And we need big players around us, people who reflect back to us. Anytime we feel like, wow, that person is amazing, that's a mirror for something inside of us. We need those big players around. Choose 2 or 3 big players and just, stay in touch with them.